Sorry about that. I lost connection. Okay, let me continue. The mice, notwithstanding, came nearer and nearer, and at last mastered some of the cannon, and then it went purr, purr, and Maria could scarcely see what now happened for the smoke and dust. This, however, was certain that each corps fought with the greatest animosity, and the victory was for a long time doubtful. The mice kept deploying more and more forces, and the little silver shot, which they fired very skillfully, struck now even into the glass case. Clara and Trutchen ran around in despair. "Must I die in the blossom of youth?" said Clara. "Have I so well preserved myself for this, to perish here in these walls?" cried Trutchen. Then they fell about each other's necks and screamed so terribly that they could be heard above the mad tumult of the battle. Of the scene that now presented itself you have no idea, good reader. It went purr, purr, puff, piff, clitter, clatter, bomb, barum, bomb, barum, bomb, in the wildest confusion, while the Mouse King and mice squeaked and screamed, and now and then the mighty voice of Nutcracker was heard, as he gave the necessary orders, and he was seen striding along through the battalions in the hottest of the fire. Harlequin had made some splendid charges with his cavalry and covered himself with honor, but Fred's hussars were battered by the enemy's artillery with odious offensive balls which made dreadful spots in their red jackets, for which reason they would not move forward. Harlequin ordered them to draw off to the left, and if in the enthusiasm of command headed the movement himself, and the cuirassiers and dragoons followed. That is, they all drew off to the left and galloped home. By this step the battery upon the footstool was exposed to great danger, and it was not long before a strong body of very ugly mice pushed on with such determined bravery that the footstool cannons, cannoneers, and all were overthrown by their headlong charge. Nutcracker seemed a little disturbed at this, and gave orders that the right wing would make a retreating movement. You know very well, oh my military reader Frederick, that to make such a movement is almost the same thing as to run away, and you are now grieving with me at the disaster which impends over the army of Maria's darling Nutcracker. But turn your eyes from this scene and view the left wing, where all is still in good order, and where there is yet great hope, both for the general and the army. During the hottest of the fight, large masses of mice cavalry had debouched softly from under the settee, and amid loud and hideous squeaking had thrown themselves with fury upon the left wing. But what an obstinate resistance did they meet with there! Slowly as the difficult nature of the ground required, for the edge of the glass case had to be traversed, the China figures had advanced, headed by 2 Chinese emperors, and forced themselves into a hollow square. These brave, motley, but noble troops, which were composed of gardeners, Tyrolese, Bonzers, Friseurs, Merry Andrews, Cupids, lions, tigers, peacocks, and apes, fought with coolness, courage, and determination. By their Spartan bravery, this battalion of picked men would have wrested the victory from the foe, had not a bold major rushed madly from the enemy's ranks and bitten off the head of one of the Chinese emperors, who, in falling, dashed to the ground 2 bonzes and a cupid. Through this gap the enemy penetrated into the square. In a few moments the whole battalion was torn to pieces. Their brave resistance, therefore, was of no avail to Nutcracker's army, which, once having begun to retreat, retired farther and farther, and at every step with diminished numbers, until the unfortunate Nutcracker halted with a little band close before the glass case. "Let the reserve advance! Harlequin, Scaramouche, Drummer, where are you?" Thus cried Nutcracker in hopes of new troops which should deploy out of the glass case, and there actually came forth a few brown men and women, made of sweet thorn, with golden faces and caps and helmets, but they fought around so awkwardly that they did not hit one of the enemy, and at last knocked the cap off their own general's head. The enemy's chasseurs too bit off their legs before long, so that they tumbled over and carried with them to the ground some of the Nutcracker's best officers. And there they are. Oh, and there's the Mouse King with the 8 heads. Ooh, hard to do that in a ballet. Nutcracker, now completely surrounded by the foe, was in the greatest peril. He tried to leap over the edge into the glass case, but found his legs too short. Clara and Trutchen lay each in a deep swoon. They could not help him. Hussars, dragoons sprang merrily by him into safe quarters, and in wild despair he cried, "A horse! A horse! A kingdom for a horse!" At this moment, 2 of the enemy's tirailleurs seized him by his wooden mantle, and the Mouse King, squeaking from his 7 throats, leaped in triumph towards him. Maria could no longer control herself. "Oh, my poor Nutcracker," she cried, sobbing, and without being exactly conscious of what she did, grasped her left shoe and threw it with all her strength into the thickest of the mice, straight at their king. In an instant all seemed scattered and dispersed, but Maria felt in her left arm a still sharper pain than before, and sank in a swoon to the floor. Okay, folks, that's all my voice is going to handle tonight. You can go back in and watch part 1 all the way up to here if you scroll through my posts. But tomorrow night, I'll do part 6. So I'll see you at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Thanks for coming. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.